he don't want anybody telling him what to do. Family wealth is very important. The idea of having no debt is not a great thing. It depends on who you are, but you want to actually have good debt once you understand how to manage and multiply money. If you have $100 million and you don't know what to do with it, you make the bad investment, you can literally take yourself and your family out. So spending money or somebody else's money is just an illusion. It does not mean that you're moving the needle to create a better lifestyle for yourself, but spending money does not equate to building wealth. In fact, it's literally the opposite.
Old money, green lighting on the business, that's the gold money.
Welcome to the Plug Talk Podcast, the podcast that gives you real game on the original OPM, Our People Money. And today I wanted to do a video on the viral interview with Dame Dash at the Breakfast Club. You know, it was very viral and entertaining. I watched it twice myself, but I did want to extract some game from the information because he did speak upon real wealth building topics and wealth building principles that I think the everyday person could actually pull from this interview and start applying to their everyday finances to build wealth at whatever level you at. So let's get into it.
I'll tell you. So, number one, most companies aren't owned like rich people, rich families. They don't put anything in their name. They build their family office. So I filed because, again, I've had...
So right there was a key gem that he just dropped, because family wealth is very important. And when it comes to building family wealth, a tax strategy and also an asset protection strategy that wealthy use is a family office, where it basically takes the liability off of you from a personal standpoint and put it in an entity that doesn't have anything to do with you, so you can keep your assets while you're going through a lot of things. And a lot of people that's wealthy actually use and exercise this type of concept. So this is not something that should be glossed over or undermined, because we can now do this in our own way, whether it could be a trust or some type of vehicle that provides some type of invisibility to your assets or your liquid capital that you don't want to lose. This type of concept can actually go a long way to making sure that we build long-term sustainable wealth.
$1 million, 30 of taxes, but they don't bother me, because in order to have $30 million means you made a lot. So in order to pay it back, I can't get a job to pay it back. I got to keep investing until I could pay it back. Nothing could be in my name. They put liens on all my accounts years ago. So that's why when they said there's nothing in your account, I don't have an account. How could I open one? They liened it. So I've been building my family office. So you have no assets. I have no assets, but my family, that's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? So I filed because, you know, that guy Chris Brown has been so...
I think one thing that goes unnoticed when it comes to this interview is that he's doing it for his last name, not his first name. And I think a lot of people, especially the interviewer, is not really grasping that idea. And I understand it's about his current situation, but he's expressing that what he's doing is about his last name and not his first name. So that's why he's not really pressed about his current financial situation, as long as his family's good. And that's what wealth is about to him, which I can relate to.
And I was going to make a bunch of very major family...
People listen, he's not talking about the artist and the singer Chris Brown. Right. Because people will think that. But
and I didn't mind you interrupting me to do that.
I apologize, but I wanted to clear things up.
I appreciate that. So every time I was launching something with my family office, he sent a letter saying that, you know, I'd owe the money, but it was my family office. But it muddies the waters. So if you have a contract, especially you working here, and somebody sent a bum letter, do y'all really think anybody... Oh, shit, I'm a rookie. Do you think anybody actually uses their own money when they acquire something? Do you think that?
Sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
Sometimes people do.
Yo, I feel sorry for you, bro.
No, sometimes people do.
But you taught us that. You said
No, I didn't.
You said if you
You're
don't put
wrong.
up your own money, if you don't put up your own money, you're not the boss.
And that's why I'm trying to tell you, nobody's a boss. I put up my own money. So let me ask you this. I think you guys have to get up. We'll do that again. Let me ask a quick question. If somebody gets a loan for $180 million, are they rich or broke?
No, they're not rich. They're still responsible for that loan. It's a loan.
So you don't think...
And that's a question that I want to ask the family is, do a loan for whatever amount of money, does that equate to wealth? He's posing is basically having OPM, other people's money, does that equate to wealth or another thing?
So if the billionaire that you think, every billionaire you know, so if they have a loan for $100 million, a loan, and I have no debt, who got more money?
So he's comparing two ideas, whether having no debt or having debt and leverage, which one is considered the wealthiest. And, this is a conversation that needs to be explained further because it all depends on your mentality around money, right? If you're a person that can't handle that type of loan, then maybe you shouldn't want to acquire and leverage and have control of $100 million of someone else's money if you haven't proven the ability to manage your own money. Now, having no debt from a consumer standpoint, consumer debt is a good thing because that's bad debt that can actually kill your wealth potential long term. And that's another thing that Charlamagne the God kind of made mention to that I want to touch on later. But the idea of having no debt, not necessarily is not a great thing. It depends on who you are, but you want to actually have good debt once you understand how to manage and multiply money. But if you have $100 million and you don't know what to do with it and you make the bad investment, you can literally take yourself and your family out. So that's something to understand. So this is the type of conversation that Dame Dash is referring to. So he's basically implying that after the bankruptcy order, right now he has no debt, right? He has no creditors, and that does bring a peace of mind maybe, and that does help finances going forward depending on who you are. So I'm not exactly talking about Dame Dash. I'm just comparing the concept of having no debt versus having $180 million. So another part of having $180 million outstanding is that it comes with expectation. Like nobody gave you that money just to go out and play with it. You have to make a return, create cash flow, and pay the money back. So that comes with a certain type of mentality, which I think that Dame Dash don't really like that mentality because he likes to he has a boss mentality. So him working for somebody else to any capacity is not something that he likes. That's not something that he kind of like that's a part of his investor DNA. So that's very important to understand your investor DNA. And Dame Dash knows his investor DNA and what makes him happy and what makes him prideful at the end of the day. So it's about family, and it's also making sure you have complete control and ownership of what you own, and nobody can control and dictate your behavior patterns because you owe somebody else.
What happened? Say it again now.
If someone gives someone a loan for $180 million,
Yes.
and I have no debt, who's worth more?
The billionaire. He's still a billionaire,
Who
regardless
has-
of loan or not.
You really think so?
A billionaire.
So someone that
compared to
okay,
you.
let's do it again.
Trying to
Okay,
say you because you have no debt.
let
to
me
start
make it a
with.
little
he's a
more simple.
billionaire.
Hold on, let me make it a little more simple.
Okay.
Do you consider somebody rich if they have a $180 million loan?
Depends on how much money they bring and how much profit they're bringing. If a billionaire has a $180 million loan,
No, yeah.
they're still a billionaire.
yeah.
Not if they owe. Why? No,
you don't-
they're
you
not.
don't- you
How
don't-
do you wait? Let me. Have you ever been a billionaire?
I've never.
So
been a
how would you
billionaire.
know? Because
Why are you asking people that ain't never been billionaires? But my
no.
point is-
I want to know what your perspective
But
was
here's
on a
my
loan.
perspective. If
Wait. You don't understand the question.
I do understand the question now.
So answer it.
if somebody gave me $180 million
yeah,
loan,
you owe them 180. You got to work it. You know, a lot of people look good spending.
that's why
Wait, stop.
but that's why it's a loan.
A lot of
But I'm not in debt until I can't pay it back,
No, you.
right?
There, that went unnoticed, but he said a lot of people look good spending somebody else's money. So spending money or somebody else's money is just an illusion. That does not mean that you're moving the needle to create a better lifestyle for yourself, build wealth for your family, anything to move the needle to make sure that you have financial freedom. I think a lot of times people get that confused, and maybe because they just not having a lot. So when they do have access to capital or some type of money, or they feel like they have some type of options and control that they never had before. So maybe it's like some type of trauma response from their childhood. It could be that, but spending money does not equate to building wealth. In fact, it's literally the opposite. Now, my personal perspective of paying cash or using your own money, I don't really do that. I believe in something called collateral, meaning that I do have my own money, but I actually leverage other people's money to go keep my money working for me, leverage other people's money at a lower cost and have my money growing at a higher cost. And I can have that spread between both pools of capital, and then I can go create cash flow to pay back the OPM, the other people's money, quote unquote, because I call it our people money. And then my money never missed the opportunity to build wealth for myself long term. So that's one of the strategies that I actually help people teach. And I also help people implement in their everyday finances. So if that's something that interests you, to start learning how to actually save your money, but don't be a victim of paying cash where you're always going to be at the zero line. You can use different vehicles and products that can literally allow you to use OPM at a low cost and investor friendly, so you can go build wealth and create cash flow.
I'm not broke until I can't pay
So
it
you
back.
never sold drugs, have you?
Yeah, I did.
So when somebody, what?
Quarter spoon. 7
Quarter
grams.
spoon? What is that? Nobody says quarter spoon. You didn't sell
7
shit.
grams.
Stop
Exactly.
lying. You talking to an ex-drug? You already said quarter spoon.
I sold quarter spoon. I didn't say I was a kingpin.
You weren't a king nothing. You was a pigpen.
I don't
Let me
care.
ask you a question.
It's not an honorable profession.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying the reason why you don't understand something. The minute I give you a loan, you owe me.
Yes.
And the more money I give you, the nicer you have to be to me. You have to do whatever I say. And that's the reason why I decided to use my own money, because they would try to give me money but tell me what to do.
See? And that goes back to his investor DNA. He don't want anybody telling him what to do. So he'd rather take on the risk of himself. And if he loses, it's on his own merit. But he don't have anybody calling him, harassing him. And that's why he filed the bankruptcy. So he told you, I'm not sure if I played that part, but he said in the beginning, the reason why he filed for bankruptcy is not because of financial hardships, but because he didn't want people to keep suing him. So he stopped it. So a level of financial peace and making sure that he's not under somebody else's control is important to him. And in fact, he said he's going to actually sue the other person. So I'm not sure how factual that is, but understanding your investor DNA is very important.
You already said quarter spoon.
I sold quarter spoon. I didn't say I was a kingpin.
You weren't a king nothing. You was a pigpen.
I don't
Let me
care.
ask you a question.
It's not an honorable profession.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying the reason why you don't understand something. The minute I give you a loan, you owe me.
Yes.
And the more money I give you, the nicer you have to be to me. You have to do whatever I say. And that's the reason why I decided to use my own money, because they would try to give me money but tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you something in
But as
business.
long as
Stop talking.
I'm paying the loan back, it's not a
You're
problem.
triggering me.
See, and what Charlamagne God referred to is that that's what the banks and other lenders want you to believe. They want you to believe that as long as you pay the loan back on time, you're fine. But when you look at that contract, that's where really the wealth is generated from that contract. Whereas you may be paying 2-3 times more than what you actually borrow back to the creditor. And if you don't have proper education around these topics, you can very well see yourself being in debt for your entire life, not truly understanding that a lot of your wealth potential is going towards the creditors because you don't understand that contract is designed and built for them to build wealth off of you and not the other way around. I respect Charlamagne God, but that is a good situation to really have a deeper conversation to really say, let's look at our mortgage documents. Let's look at our credit card statements. Let's look at our business funding and let's see what's really going on when it comes to the business behind it and the contracts, because then you'll realize this is where all my money's going. This is where all my dollars are going. So this is a great conversation, and I definitely had to make sure I definitely provided my financial opinion on it.
You're trying to get me out of pocket.
No, but as long
If
as
you do that, I'm going
going
to take a break and go take a joint because I don't want to argue with you. I want to stay respectful.
Okay.
Stop interrupting me.
This guy, man. I'm gonna give you the same respect you give in the room, but go ahead.
Continue on, Dave.
Thank you. You guys don't know about business, so don't talk so confidently about it because people might believe.
I'm
You
asking.
cut me off again?
Dame Dash, just to wrap up the video, he's speaking from a business standpoint. And I think, and I want to encourage a lot of people to really start operating your finances from the business side. Look at the contracts. Read what's going on with your finances. Understand good debt versus bad debt. Understand control costs. Understand what comes with the liability of controlling somebody else's capital without really having a way to create cash flow. And what is your leverage capacity? Not everybody is built to have a certain amount of capital, especially if you haven't proven to yourself with your own money that you could actually take risk, create cash flow, and build wealth long term. And I just wanted to actually share and pull the gems from this conversation because as a financial advisor, business professional, it was a lot of good information that Dame Dash was talking about. And I don't want the sensationalized titles around his teeth and his bankruptcy and his mentality that rub people the wrong way. But Dame Dash is definitely a person that has been around the block a couple times financially and when it comes to business. Just like he said, other wealthy people have filed bankruptcy multiple times, but you don't see it. So it may be the fact that people are preying on Dame Dash's downfall. And big ups to Dame Dash for using this type of media attention to his advantage in whatever way he did. The planning behind it and the execution behind it, it was top notch. And I wish Dame Dash nothing but the best. And I wish the Breakfast Club nothing but the best as well too. But I wanted to make sure that our community, we have something to really take away in a positive manner from this interview. I'm Mr. Brooklyn Business. This is the OPM. This is the Plug Talk Podcast, and the next episode gonna be a banger. Let's get it.
We make it double up, turn 1 to 2 money. Got new money, got some old money. Green lighting on the business, that's a gold money. Got old money, got some new money.